Hound of Heaven by Thompson. Just a word about Francis. He was a drug addict, and he was really kind of a naughty boy. He thought he'd be a priest. Well, the priest said, "No, you're not. You wouldn't make a good priest." Well, then he thought he'd be a doctor. His father wanted him to be a doctor, and he just couldn't do that either. And his father was not happy with him. But you can tell that he was thinking, and this was his right brain way. Okay, The Hound of Heaven. I have to say this is my favorite poem of all poems. I fled him down the nights and down the days. I fled him down the arches of the years. I fled him down the labyrinthine ways of my own mind. And in the mist of tears I hid from him, and under running laughter. Up visted hopes I sped, and shot precipitated down titanic glooms of chasm fears from those strong feet that followed after. But with unhurrying chase and unperturbed pace, deliberate speed, majestic instancy, they beat, and a voice beat more instant than the feast. All things betray thee, who betrayest me. I pleaded, outlaw-wise, by many a hearted window curtained red, trellised with intertwining charities. For though I knew the love of him who followed, yet was I sore adread, lest having him, I must have not beside. But if one little casement parted wide, the gust of his approach would clash it to. Fear wist not to evade, as love was to pursue. Across the margin of the world I fled, and troubled the gold gateways of the stars, smiting for shelter on their dotted clinging bars. I said to dawn, be sudden, to eve, be soon. With thy young skyey blossoms heap me over from this tremendous lover. Float thy vague veil about me, lest he see. I tempted all his servitors, but yet to find my own betrayal in their constancy. To all swift things, for swiftness, did I sue. Clung to the whistling mane of every wind. But whether they swept smoothly, fleet, the long savannas of the blue, or whether thunder-driven, they charged his chariot athwart the heaven, fear wist not to evade, as love wist to pursue. Still with unhurrying chase and unperturbed pace, deliberate speed, majestic instancy, came on the following feet, and a voice above their beat, not shelters thee, who wilt not shelter me. But still, within the little children's eyes, seemed something that replied, they least for me, surely for me. I turned me to them very wistfully. But just as their young eyes grew sudden fair, with dawning answers there, their angels plucked them from me by the hair. Come then, ye other children, nature's, share with me, said I, your delicate fellowship. Let me greet you lip to lip, let me twine with you caresses, wantoning with Our Lady Mother's vagrant tresses, banqueting with her in her wind-walled palace, underneath her azure dais, quaffing as your taintless way is. And I in their delicate fellowship was one. I drew the bolt of nature's secrecies. I knew all of the swift importings of the willful face of skies. I knew how the clouds arise. It was spumed of the wild sea snortings. All that was born or dies. Rose drooped with them, made them shapers of my own moods, or wailful or divine. With them joyed and was bereaved. I was heavy with the heathen. When she lit her glimmering tapers round the day's dead sanctities, I laughed in the morning's eyes. I triumphed and I saddened with all the weather, and heaven and I wept together. And its sweet tears were salt with mortal mine. Against the red throb of the sunset heat, I laid my own to beat, and share commingling heat. But not by that was eased my human smart. In vain my tears were wet on heaven's great cheek, for all we know not what each other says. These things and I, in sound I speak. Their sound is but their stir, they speak by silences. Nature, poor step-dame, cannot slake my drought. Let her, if she would owe me, drop yon blue bosom veil of sky and show me the breasts of her tenderness. Never did any milk of hers once bless my thirsting mouth. Nigh and nigh draws the chase, with unperturbed pace, deliberate speed, majestic instancy, and past those noised feet, a voice comes, yet more fleet. Lo, not contents thee, who contents not me. Naked, I wait thy love's uplifted stroke. My harness piece by piece you have hewn from me, and submit me to my knees. I am defenseless, utterly. I slept, methinks, and woke, and slowly gazing, find me stripped in sleep. In the lusty head of my young powers I shook the pillaring hours. Pull my life upon me, grimed with smears. I stand amid the dust of the mounded years. My mangled youth lies dead beneath the heap. My days have crackled and gone up in smoke, have puffed and burst as sun starts on a stream. The dreamer and the luteness are gone. Even the linked fantasies in whose blossom twist the earth I swung upon my wrist, all yielding, cords of all too weak account, for earth with heavy grief so overplust. Oh, is thy love indeed a weed? Albeit an amaranthine weed, suffering no flowers except its own to mount? Oh, must Designer infinite, oh, must you char the wood ere thou canst work with it? My freshness spent its wavering shower in the dust. And now my heart is as a broken font, wherein tear-drippings stagnate and spill down ever from the dank thoughts that shiver on the stifled branches of my mind. Such is what is to be. The pulp so bitter, I shall taste the rind. I dimly guess what time in mist confounds, yet ever and anon a trumpet sounds from the hid battlements of eternity. Those shaken mists of space unsettle, then round the half-glimpsed turrets slowly wash again, but not ere him who summoneth I first have seen. Enwound with glooming robes purpureal, cypress crowned, his name I know, and what his trumpet sat. Whether men's heart or life it be, which yields thee harvest, must thy harvest field be dunged with rotten death? Now of that long pursuit comes on at last the brute, that voices round me like a bursting sea. And is thy earth so marred, shattered in shard on shard? Lo, all things fly thee, for thou fliest me. Strange, piteous, futile thing, wherefore should any set thee love apart, seeing none but I makes much of naught, he said, and human love needs human meriting. How hast thou merited, of all men's clotted clay, the dingiest clot? Alas, thou knowest not how little worthy of any love thou art. Whom wilt thou find to love ignoble thee? Save me, save only me. All which I took from thee, I did but take, not for thy harms, but just that thou mightst seek it in my arms. All which thy child's mistake fancies is lost, I've stored for thee at home. Rise, clasp my hand, and come. Halts by me that footfall, and is my gloom after all shade of his hand outstretched caressingly?